Sorry I left you hanging for a day or so, at least not today. I'm gonna make sure I get this one in so that I don't go too many days without letting you know what's going on, because I've made a commitment to try to do every day. I did miss yesterday. Yesterday was absolutely insane, and when you hear about it, you'll know why. So here we are. My name is Michelle. I am a mom of 12 amazing kids. Regardless of the crap they do and regardless of the mistakes they've made, I love them like nobody's business because I'm their mom. I'm trying to guide them, help them, lead them, and direct them in the right direction. They don't always go where they're supposed to or in the way they're supposed to, but whose kids do? Some kids are perfect, some aren't. I have some kids that are pretty much on the straight and narrow, don't even deviate. And then I have others that, woo, deviate as much as they can. I'm pregnant with my 13th child. Some people say I'm nuts, and I don't care. It's not about them, it's about me and my decisions and what I've chosen to do. So I don't take a lot of crap, that's for sure. But recently I was on a show. Talked to you a little bit about it in the previous videos. But it turns out it's going to air this week. And I'm extremely nervous because, boy, do they make me look bad. Remember how I cried in that video? I'll just post it in the description below so that you could see it. And then a couple days after that, how hard it was for me to get out of that hole I buried myself in and allowed myself to feel like I belonged in, with all the negativity that was thrown at me that day. Unexpected, unannounced, unwelcome for sure. Because, you know, when you go and you tell somebody you need a little help with your clutter, and that you have a couple kids that are wayward and you need some help with them, and all it does is come back on you and say that you're a terrible mom, that's craziness. So I plan on watching the show. I plan on writing down every point that's got to be addressed so that you can know the truth. And if you really care, you'll watch this channel and you'll see that I really have the truth. And TV has to be sensationalized, otherwise how does somebody make $75 million a year? I don't make that much because I don't sensationalize. I tell the truth, I tell what's real, and this is my real life. And I open it up for everyone to see so that no one can say that it didn't really happen and that really it was imagined. Plus I have this personality that I just like to talk, and there's not a lot of people that have a lot of time to hear everything I have to say. So here I go, and I share it with you. But yesterday was overly eventful. I started out doing my routines, did school with the kids. Our housekeeper came or whatever, someone who was helping, and we got a lot of things done, and I decorated mostly for Christmas. I got rid of all my gloves that are on my shelf. You've seen them in videos before where they're behind the piano. Decided that was just too much for me. I'm trying to simplify my life. We got rid of some of the couches in the front room. I'm thinking about doing that in the next room, but we got to have furniture to sit on, right? We got all these kids. Where are they supposed to sit? I guess on the floor is okay, but the adults need somewhere to sit, right? Well, so here I am trying to figure out, you know, the construction of that, but I have this teenager, right? And when he comes home from school, we go pick him up, bring him home, and then he does his job or whatever and then disappears. And sometimes for an hour, sometimes for 3 hours, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes 7 hours, sometimes in the middle of the friggin' night. Did I just say that? Sorry. In the middle of the night, he will leave like at 1:30, 2:30 in the morning and think I don't notice. And it's annoying, it's irritating, and it is what it is. But here's the thing. He came home yesterday and I wasn't happy about it. Yeah, right. Peace, please. But you know, it just is a little aggravating because, like I said, I have been coming over and over and over to you, telling you about my struggles with this teenage boy, right? We love him. We spend time with him. We maybe don't spend ideal time with him all the time, but there's a lot of kids and there's only one of me, and that's okay. They get plenty, you know. I take them shopping. I take them to lunch. I do things with them, for them, about them, through them, write them notes for the school, go down to the school to help them out, take them to this thing, that thing, whatever. I do a lot of things for these kids. My kids all share rooms. The only one that has his own room is my adult son, who's living in our house at this time. So here's the thing. Tonight, you know, okay, let's back up to the beginning of this day. I intended to YouTube earlier so I could do my pregnancy update. Instead, I'll do that tomorrow, and I'll also have to do my other update to let you know a little more what's going on. But I woke up, I got my routines done. The first thing I do is I take those boys to seminary at 5 a.m., right? Well, I get up at about 5:15, and I take them over at about 5:45. And as soon as I get home, I'm already dressed in my workout clothes. So as soon as I get home, I go and I do my 2-mile walk. I'm getting ready to extend it because we're in December now. So I'm going to move it up to 3 miles. So tomorrow I'll start doing a little bit longer route so I get those 3 miles in, because that's so good for me, the baby, my health, energy, blood pressure, everything like that, right? So that's what I did. I came home, showered, got ready for the day, did school with the kids. After school, I had to take 2 of my boys to a doctor appointment. One of them was this wayward teen. Well, after the doctor's appointment, I even took them to eat on the way home because they were hungry, and got them some Reese cups and whatnot. And then I'll be danged, as soon as I got home, I had to take my 10-year-old son to his class party. And we hurried and cut up some cheese chunks and and laid out some crackers and took that to the party. And then when I came home from dropping him off to his activity, which wasn't even 5 minutes away, guess what? Teenager missing, gone, nowhere. He did tell the kids that he was leaving, going to a friend's house, and then he said, that he is going to, he told that son that don't worry, he's not going to get high, he's not going to do anything he's not supposed to. But guess what? He didn't come home shortly like he said he was. It was being a long time. So long time to me is 15-20 minutes, because he thought he'd be home before I got home. Well, he was wrong. He did not get home before I got home. Get real, it's gone 5 minutes. So I texted all of the friends that he normally would go hang out with, texted their moms. Is Chantry over there? Is he doing anything? I keep saying his name. Sorry, you're thrown under the bus. Keep asking them, you know, have you seen him, whatever. None of them saw him. They hadn't seen him all day. Well, of course, he was with me all day, and he's only just been barely missing, but I thanked him for their help, and that left only one friend that I knew of. That was his friend, and we'll just call him Peter for anonymity, because I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying his real name. So I say, well, Peter is his only friend, so I'm going to go see if I can actually find out which house it is, and not just the general area, because remember, I would drive by and he saw me that one time. I posted that in a different video. Well, I drove by and I started knocking on doors, and the one house that I kept thinking he was hanging at, no one lives there. It's an abandoned house, and the neighbors next door to that, I knocked on theirs, and so I knocked on their door, and they said, no, they don't have any kids, but there's no one that lives there, and there's always kids at this house across the street. So I went over at the house across the street, and sure enough, I could smell marijuana outside this house, and I just knew I needed to knock on the door there. And I knocked on the door, and a teenager answers the door, and the house smells like marijuana, like it's gonna knock me over. It's so strong. It's coming out the front door, for crying out loud. So I ask, you know, is Peter here? Is there anybody named Peter that lives here? No, no one named Peter lives here. I said, well, I'm looking for my teenage son. He's missing. His name is Chantry, and I'm looking for him. So if you see him, could you let me know? Oh, sure, let me know. Sure, we'll let you know. Okay, no Chantry here. Okay, fine. So they shut the door, and I keep looking, and I drive down. I run into another friend of his who says there's some kids that hang down at the end of the block, and he thinks maybe he sees them down there. Well, that was bogus, because I went to all those houses, and they don't even know my son. They've never seen my son down there, but they did know where Peter lived, because they'd seen Peter, and they described the house that I had gone to earlier. And I had already just called the police. Oh, did you hear that? I'm fed up. I'm done. I called the police, and I reported that house, because that was a minor that answered the front door. And if there's all that going on, he certainly didn't look like he needed it. I'll let the cops be the judge of that and find out what's going on. But then I found out it was actually that house, so I called them back and said, actually, my son might be there. So the police went there, looked for him, found out my son was there, and he called me and said, hey, you want to come pick your boy up? We found him. I was like, heck yeah, I'll be there in less than 5 minutes. So I went and picked him up, and did I yell? No. Did I get angry? No, because I don't get angry. I get excited for you guys, but when I'm talking to them, I'm so chill, so relaxed to my kids. I do not overdo it for them. I mean, maybe you think it's overdoing it that I called the police, but I'm done. This has been since June last summer, And just time and time again from, you know, he did good on restrictions sometimes, he kept leaving, whatever, kept getting in trouble, and now here he is doing it again. And he doesn't have a phone. I took that away for Tested Dirty. He's on restriction. He doesn't get to go anywhere for Tested Dirty. A couple times I've let him go somewhere, and he's still same thing. And then here I go trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I've enrolled him in a couple of programs that we have here locally. There's just, the thing that's a problem is there's a lot of programs that help kids who are on drugs, which is great. It helps them rehabilitate and get better. There's a lot of programs, you know, like D.A.R.E and things like that, that help them before they're on drugs. There's not a lot of programs that help kids who are in the middle of it, that you're trying to rescue or retrieve or, you know, kind of shake up and get them to pay attention. And I talk to him about it every day. He's getting more and more casual about his talking, but what am I supposed to do, right? That's just where I am, and I'm just trying to figure out the best thing that I'm supposed to do for him, because I don't want to lose him forever. And I want him to be able to be a contributing member of society. That's all I've ever wanted for any of my kids. So even regardless of what you hear, you know, if you watch television, local television, then you've probably seen the preview for Our Family that's coming this week. And you know what? They painted a picture that's so backward and so twisted that it's sensationalized. They did things that just blew it up and made him, I agree. I've actually done that with 2 kids, and it did. But it takes a lot of money, and that's something I don't have right now. My husband's working 3 jobs to be able to support this family, a lot because he had some habits that were kicking his butt. Well, you'll find out because they'll be broadcast on national television this week, so everybody will know, right? We'll see. But who knows? Grants, is that what you meant? Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Maybe you could message that in the comments, or actually I could probably watch the replay and find out about that. But I'll look into that, because he needs to get away. The problem is, a lot of times they say when kids are already in the problem, that they stay in the problem no matter where you take them. They have to actually treat the problem and try to do something different. Well, on this show, I'll just give you a for instance, okay? Yeah, I already have. We're dealing with the police. There's actually a program for kids down at the juvenile hall for kids who aren't arrested and don't have a criminal record that helps them so they can kind of reset their life and change things around. And it helps the parents learn how to communicate, because obviously I don't communicate well. And it helps, they have some other programs that they're trying to help with. But that's not for 2 weeks. And I can't wait any longer. I can't wait 2 weeks for my kid to ruin his life. How do I know they're not going to lace it with something? How do I know they're not going to sell my kid off somewhere? How do I know that he's safe and that his, you know, let alone his mental state, you know, that's frying that frontal lobe and that brain. They're not even fully developed until they're 25 years old. So I am trying anything and everything I can. I mean, I'm just done with it. So here's the example I was going to give you about this show we were on, right? So they came to my house to film. They were going to film about the clutter, which they did. But then, you know, they said, well, there must be other reasons that there's clutter. So let's find out some of the problems that are going on in your family. What other issues you have? You have issues with your husband, this kid, that kid, whatever. So then this stuff came up. Well, they also wanted to record me making dinner for my kids, right? So I made lunch, and only 3 of them were downstairs. And they're like, well, aren't you going to call your other kids down? And I was like, no. And they're like, why not? I said, well, if they're hungry, they'll come downstairs. They know it's about eating time, and they could smell it, so they'll be downstairs. I don't yell for my kids to come and eat. Maybe I'm a bad mom, I guess, but I don't do that. And they're like, well, could you just, for the filming, just so we can hear all their names and how you do it, could you yell for them at the top of the stairs and have them come downstairs? I'm like, sure, why not? I'm going for it because I'm obviously naive and I don't know what they're going to do with it. So I yell, Tuesday, Iron Rod, Borden River, Sunshine Night, Chantry, Ozias, Rush, Daily, Raid, and Ripton. Except for only Night and Down were actually here. So I just did Night, Chantry, Ozias, Rush, Daily, Raid, and Ripton. And guess what? They came down. They're like, what's going on, Mom? Is everything okay? Is there a fire? Because I don't yell. And they put that, and this other time they asked me to yell for the kids, like I think we were going to the car or something. I don't know. I haven't seen anything more than the preview. and then kind of when we were there for the taping, so I saw kind of what was going on. But there was they showed me yelling at my kids, but guess what? I don't yell at my kids. You know why? Because I used to. Like years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I'd yell at my kids. But I've learned that yelling doesn't help. You just waste your energy, you waste your breath. And you know, I found out the same thing about anger. It doesn't even help to be angry. I'm frustrated as all get out because I don't want to lose this kid. But I'm not angry. What do I have to be angry about? He's a teenager. How is he supposed to think straight? His brain isn't working right. But for them to act like I'm not a good mom, that I'm not doing enough for my kids, that I have disabled them, that I haven't provided them opportunities, that I had too many kids, that I had no right having kids when I couldn't provide all these things for them, and raising them in a dysfunctional home. And yeah, maybe it is a little dysfunctional, but whose life isn't nowadays? I mean, maybe there's some people's who aren't, but hello, what do you expect? You don't just stop having kids because you don't have a perfect life. My kids have love. They have a roof over their heads. They have food in their bellies. I feed them good, treat them good. I take them on field trips, activities. All summer long, we spent at Cowabunga Bay and other activities. So I was surprised because this TV show host, I thought a lot of, but I haven't had an actual TV channel. I haven't had an actual TV channel, what do you call that? Just like in my TV, right? So we don't pick up local channels. That's what I'm trying to say. All we pick up is net, because we have internet, right? So Netflix, anything you have on anything you have on cable, or not cable, anything you have on the internet is what I have. So Netflix, Amazon Prime, that kind of thing. So here we have that kind of available for the kids to watch and me to watch or whatever, which we hardly ever watch. But we can't watch it on our TV. So I haven't seen this guy's show. Oh, now we know it's a male. I haven't seen his show in years, like probably 10 years. I used to watch it regularly when he first came on because I saw him on Oprah, and then he opened his own show, and that was great. And he seemed to be really loving and caring. And just recently, I thought I kept the books on here. I read this book by this girl named Michelle Knight who was on his show. And he was so loving to her and good to her. And I thought because of all the abuse I suffered that he would be willing to be as gentle and kind to her. But instead, he was yelling at me. Maybe he calls it a wake-up call. Maybe he thinks he was giving me a wake-up call. But all it did was the hard time I was already having as a mom, he just made me feel worse. Like I didn't even deserve to be a mom. And it took a little while, but luckily I have a Lord and a Savior and a God I pray to, because he helped me see that I am actually an amazing mom. And that's the truth of it. He helped me see all the things I do right. Yeah, there's a few things I do wrong, and that's just the way it goes because I'm still learning. I'm just in training, right? But I am doing the best I can, and sometimes my best isn't good enough. I'll give you that, all right? But I am doing so much trying to move forward and just do the best I can. And he just said it wasn't enough and that I was just doing a disservice to them. And when I prayed and the Lord just showed me in my mind and just kept telling me, like whispering to me, things I have done right, from being a Cub Scout leader and helping all the scouts do well and baking with my kids and teaching classes for my kids and doing primary with my kids and walking with my kids and taking them to parks and field trips and activities and the time that there's two of my kids who are really upset that spoke up about something they could have talked to me about years ago. I don't know why they didn't, but whatever. They didn't, and they shared it on national television and they acted like, they'd get neglected or whatever. I'm like, that's just crazy. We did move a couple times in there, so it might feel like you were neglected, but the bottom line is we took those kids on a trip back east, meaning to the east states, and we took them on an American history and a church history tour all the way around, and it was phenomenal. We had such a blast. But there's no gratitude there. How many kids are very thankful for how you knew their childhood until they grow up? I mean, I know I was a crap, and it wasn't until I had my own kid that I started realizing that my mom did as good as she could, and she tried her best, right? So whatever. But attacking a mom who's trying to make it and begging you for help, just to me is the rudest thing a person could do. And maybe in a few months I'll be saying he's the most awesome person, but whatever. And if he's saying I'm a bad mom, think of all the other moms that are doing less than I'm doing. How crappy are they going to feel? Well, why are you going to make moms feel crappy? That's just rude. We're doing the best we can. And sometimes that's all we can do. And maybe our best isn't good enough. And we need to raise the bar and do better. But by golly, how? If we don't know better, how can you do better? So teach us where, teach us how, teach us what to read, where to go, what to watch. That's what I try to offer here on this YouTube channel, is I try to express what I'm doing to hopefully inspire you so that you'll be a better mom, and that you'll see the things that I've learned over the years, the things I did that were wrong, and the things that I'm doing right now that I'm already experiencing the benefits from, you know? So I have a homeschool video I have to do this week. I have a Santa Claus video I have to do this week. I have my pregnancy update I have to do this week. And I'm going to have to talk about the TV show. So that's going to be a busy week, right? And then I'm going to have to rebuttal every single thing he says about me or paints the picture of me incorrectly, because it's just annoying. You know, here I am. I'm definitely worked up right now. But you've seen me, you've seen what I do, and he discredited everything I've done, said I haven't done anything for my kids, I'm not very organized. I'm like, you don't get more organized than I am. I mean, maybe I don't do everything perfectly, but hello, I have a schedule from morning till night where I work my buns off. I'm just like a chicken with my head cut off. Luckily, it's with a purpose, but it was just asinine to me. Excuse my French. It really threw me for a loop yesterday. I was quite emotional about it. I'd had a really great day, and then when I heard the news that it was going to be on, it really floored me, and that bothers me. It bothers me that something like that would make me feel depressed, I guess, or like all those bad feelings I had. You know, the video I was talking to you about just a minute ago, the one where I was crying, and after we did the filming, you know, I'm going to post that in the description. I'm going to post that in the description. And I was just like, this is stupid. I know better. But it took me almost 24 hours to shake it off. But thank goodness it didn't take me 3 days like last time. Oh my gosh, last time was horrible. Just because I was ambushed. I told them all this stuff. I thought they were helping me, but instead they were trying to ridicule me and, what do they call that? Roast me? And I was like, that was dumb. And the bottom line is that I don't really know what I need to do to have them help me. But if they're going to make me sacrifice the first thing they asked me to do, then I'm not doing it. There's no way. Because I'm not going to give up that which I'm passionate about. You'll hear me repeat that because that's going to be that topic for the day I talk about the show. I'm so glad that you subscribed and I've helped you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's my favorite thing about my own channel. I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. I just get one subscriber at a time, and I've built it up over a year, and I've just been working hard, but every single person is so positive. You have so many nice things to say, and you're so encouraging, and I love that. I appreciate that. I guess I really need it, and I needed it before, but I wasn't asking for it, and here I am now, bearing everything. I'm just transparent as a person can be, because what harm is there in being honest and truthful? Really, just annoying. And if you knew the hell I have been through to get to where I am today, you'd be even more impressed, I assure you. Anyways, yeah, that's my mantra right there. Moms matter. And that's what I started this video channel, this YouTube channel for in the beginning, was so that moms could understand the value that they have. We are Wonder Woman. We are the center of our homes, and our families need us. They depend on us, and they don't even realize it. That the family falls apart without us. How many homes have had the mom just take off and leave, and that family fell apart? Bless their souls. Oh my gosh. So sad, because you just don't realize the anchor that the mom is. So, yeah, that's my rant for today. Look at that. I'm going to be in trouble because I've been on here a whole 25 minutes. And I usually don't go that long. But it's the end of the day. Kids are making pudding downstairs. They don't need me for that. My son is doing it. He's old enough. Kids can have a life, and they don't need me for every ever-loving waking minute of their lives. And if somebody doesn't like that, oh well. So I thank you. But, you know, if you see that show and then you decide to judge me differently, just let me know, because I am willing to talk about every point. If I miss something in my topics, I'll just address something else every day next week from Friday on, and let you know what exactly I'm thinking, where it's coming from, and what actually was happening, so that you can get a true taste. And even the things that are truthful that were actually happening, I can fill you in a little more details that matter. So I hope that you will enjoy it, and you'll get a kick out of this channel, because it's about to get rolling. So thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because we're going to have some fun. Like this video if you do. Likes help people know that they might be interested in this channel, and I want to be able to help all the moms I possibly can. So the more moms, the better. And I hope that you enjoy this and that you keep coming back. I try to go on every day. Once in a while I miss a day, but you just got to know that when I'm going to report on the days I've missed, it's going to be good, because there's usually a reason. I'm really just trying to report to you almost like a journal, right? This is like my video journal. And so one day when I'm long gone and there's no evidence of me other than on YouTube, at least there'll be some evidence that women who love their kids really do exist. And I am a whole different kind of mom, because I don't do any nonsense. I don't take care of anything that like, I don't get into other people's business. I could care less what other people are doing. But when somebody's attacking me, I'm going to have to fight back, because I am a fighter. I don't have a whole lot of fight left in me after having the twins, but what little I do, I will. And my reputation is all I have, and I've done nothing but good works. So that's all I have to show for it. And if people who don't know me are going to see that and judge me otherwise, I'm ready to defend myself. So here I am, ready or not, sink or swim. And you know what they say, when it rains, it pours, right? So if it wasn't one thing, it was another. You know, here I've got all this stuff to worry about for my own personal stuff, but then I've got these things with my kids. And at the same time, this naughty kid is taking up extra time. So I have to make sure I put extra love on these kids that are doing good, because they're not the problem. And I don't want to neglect them just because one kid's being naughty and requiring more time. So that's where I'm at. I hope that you guys are having a better day than I was. I hope that you have a fabulous evening. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow and tell you about my baby bump. I have to show you my shirt today because it's so cute. I don't know if I showed it to you before. It says, "Happiness is on the way." And then it has, and then there's these cute little hands. When my belly sticks out more, you'll see them more. But for now, it's just these little hands. Happiness is on the way. And that's why I say, you know, she's either going to be a perfect baby or a downright perfect baby. And that's just the way it is. And if she's Down syndrome, we've got plenty of activity and stimulation going on in this house for her. So there you go. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in below. You can throw one out real quick and I can answer it if you have any. But if you put them in the comments below, I always get back to you within 24 hours. And I really try to just give it to you however you're asking, and just be as honest as I possibly can. Because to me, life is too short to hide, and I have nothing to hide. So here we go. Let's roll. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I'll check just in case you had a question, because it got silent. Nope, we're good. All right, take care. See you later. Thanks for being here, Heather. Bye.